Just ahead on CTV News.
Residents of a Laurel condominium are being forced to vacate the premises right after the holidays. I'm Sierra Jackson. I'll have that story and more for you tonight on CTV News.
And deliberations are underway for Francisco Marlette, the Prince George's County police officer that went viral. I'll tell you why, and I'll have those details coming up.
Snowfall has returned in the DMV. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have more details on the winter weather coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for November 22nd. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. Residents of a local condo are being forced to vacate their homes in 50 days. The city of Laurel held a meeting last night with tiers of Laurel Lakes of condominium residents to discuss the pressing matter. CTV's Sierra Jackson spoke to residents and community leaders on how this will affect their lives.
No, I don't have a plan right now. I have absolutely no plan. Both of my parents just died, so I can't even go back to my parents' house.
The city of Laurel is facing backlash after notifying residents of tiers at Laurel Lake that in 50 days, majority of the residents will have to vacate due to safety concerns.
We have to make sure that citizens are safe, and we don't want to displace anyone. But if the house is unsafe, our job, our obligation is to make sure they're safe. And that's what we're doing tonight, taking proactive steps to make sure those individuals are safe. And once again, once those buildings are in code, those residents return back to their homes.
I will say that over time, lack of maintenance, and it could be lack of maintenance for a multitude of issues, can cause these problems to be exacerbated. What we've found out from various engineers at this point, as well as contractors that were privately hired by the HOA, in addition to a city inspection that was done, all of our findings were consistent that these stairs do pose an immediate threat to the safety of our citizens, and our main concern is keeping everyone safely in their homes.
City officials have been working with the HOH since 2021 to improve the living conditions. However, now they say the time is up. One resident who's lived there for 24 years says some of his neighbors were unaware of the situation at hand.
Now we have 174 units. With 174 units, only 60 people would be on the Zoom. So those that didn't know was because they either they didn't care, they didn't know the severity, or they weren't informed.
Back in February, the city distributed $200,000 in funding from the American Rescue Plan Act to lower delinquency rates. However, it was not enough to cover the cost of repairs. Delegate Marvin Holmes, who is chair of the Housing and Real Property Subcommittee in the Maryland General Assembly, says communities should invest in reserve funding to avoid similar situations.
What the city of Laurel has done with the $200,000 is not being done anywhere else in the entire state except Montgomery County. I had a bill that was passed this year that allowed municipals and jurisdictions to provide funding to put money into reserve, but no one has done it except Laurel and Montgomery County.
Marcus Brooks, the new board president, says his priority is keeping as many people in their homes as possible.
I'm you. I live here. It's my home. It's your home. It's our home. We're all impacted. There's no way this doesn't hurt me just as much as it hurts you. I'm hurt, but we got the work that we need to do. It's not about me. It's about us. And I was passionate in my delivery of the speech.
Thank you, Sierra. The original date for residents to vacate the condos was set for December 9th. However, the city was able to extend the deadline until January 10th, and CTV will keep you updated as this story develops. And a county council member explains why he did not vote to pass 2 emergency special election bills this week. Tom Dernoga of District 1 recently abstained from voting on CB 92, which related to the county council's primary and general elections to fill council vacancies. He also declined to vote either for or against on CB 93, which related to the primary and general election of the next county executive. Dernoga says since the late 90s, special elections in the county have taken place in 90 days. However, this puts Prince George's out of compliance with state law, which requires 100 days for special elections. Council Bills 92 and 93 were going to address this issue by giving the county up to 110 days for special elections. He says if those bills had passed, then it would cost the county more money and residents would be out of representation for about 7 to 8 months.
But what happens is our law stays out of compliance. But our last two elections, special elections, were done with laws that are out of compliance. And essentially, we just work out the details with the State Board of Elections. So rather than locking us into a 7 to 8 month process, I'm hoping we can negotiate a 6-month process. So it's not going to really save us any money, but it should save us a little time. And that was my reasoning. I cannot vote for taking away people's representation for that length of period of time.
Both of those bills were emergency bills and needed 8 votes to pass. Well, in September 2023, a viral video captured an on-duty officer, Francesco Marlette, embracing a woman before both entered a marked police vehicle at a busy playground. The footage sparked an internal investigation, and since September 5th, Officer Marlette has been suspended. Our Michaela Newton is at the Prince George's County Police Headquarters with the latest details. Michaela, what can you tell us?
Francisco Marlette, the Prince George's County police officer who was suspended after going viral for kissing a woman and then getting into his patrol car near a playground parking lot, appeared again before the police trial board today. The incident happened in September of last year when Marlette and the woman in the video, who's allegedly known as Virginia Pinto, Marlette's alleged mistress, were caught on camera kissing in the parking lot of South Lawn Park in Oxon Hill. You can also see kids running around in parts of the video. The two were then seen getting in the back seat of a marked police vehicle. Reports say that the two were in the car for a number of minutes. Marlette also failed to respond to a call for 9 minutes. The video has gained millions of views since it was shared on TikTok. On Facebook, Marlette's alleged estranged wife and mistress were seen going back and forth on Facebook about the situation. I spoke with Virginia Pinto, who was there to support Marlette, and she told me that she felt great. The two then shared a kiss shortly before deliberation. The board found Marlette guilty on several ethics and conduct-related charges.
I'm not going to comment on that yet. We'll just have to see what the report says and let the process play out.
Now, the trial board did recommend termination for Marlette for the September 2023 incident that he did leave 9 minutes after a call for service. Reporting in Prince George's County, Maryland, I'm Michaela Newton for CTV News.
Thank you, Michaela. And this isn't the first time Marlette has faced allegations. Report shows accusations of child abuse and assault dating back to 2016, as well as domestic abuse. And a corrections officer and 2 Prince George's women are 3 out of 5 people charged in a conspiracy to smuggle knives, drugs, and cell phones into the D.C. jail. The indictment reveals that corrections officer Rashad Roper, along with Latara Brown of Capitol Heights and Kia Holland of Oxon Hill, were involved in supplying contraband to inmates awaiting trial for serious charges. They were arrested on November 19th. Roper, Brown, Holland, and their co-defendants face charges for smuggling contraband into the jail. And Prince George's police are investigating a fatal hit and run in Oxon Hill last night. 52-year-old Sandra Oriana was found in the roadway suffering from trauma. The collision happened at the 6100 block of Oxon Hill Road after 9 o'clock. Investigation shows the driver hit Oriana in the eastbound lane. She was later pronounced dead on the scene. Anyone with any information on this case is asked to call 301-731-4422. And Maryland could become a winter wonderland this season, and we got to see a glimpse today of our first sign of winter weather. CTV's Bryce Parker has our winter weather update.
That's right, Mariah. Today we saw our first snowfall of the winter just in time for the holiday season, and the weather outside is just frightful enough to get us into that festive spirit. This wintry mix probably will not turn into measurable snowfall, but it is exciting to see nonetheless. Right now it's about 40 degrees outside, so we are just above freezing temperatures. These conditions are expected to last throughout the day, with the weather hovering around the 40-degree mark. And with wet conditions comes hazardous conditions on the road. So if you are traveling today, make sure that you are proceeding with caution. Now, snowfall in late November could be an early indicator of what is to come of the winter weather this year. Now, it is worth noting that we haven't seen harsh winter snowfall in recent years in the area. But if today's conditions are any indicator of what is to come, be ready to get those shovels out and make some snow angels this holiday season. In Largo, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
Thank you, Bryce. And again, try to stay dry today because we're expected to have a wintry mix the rest of the day. You're watching CTV News. I'm Mariah Jalad. Still to come, a local sorority chapter is partnering up with Google for a scholarship program. We'll have more details after the break.
We are the nation's largest integrated healthcare system, providing life-changing care to over 9 million veterans.
Our hands are busy, competent, skilled, healing, helping, and friendly. A place where diverse teams come together hand in hand to provide full patient-centered care. Working in state-of-the-art facilities with influential leaders in healthcare, all with a single goal in mind: to help veterans heal, recover, and get their lives back. In a place where everyone plays a part, and where your efforts are truly appreciated. A place so innovative and forward-thinking that we're rebuilding hands, and where even robots lend a hand.
Join hands with us. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
Hi, I'm the Big C. Hey, look at this beautiful couple. I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, don't say it, don't assume. Did you know more than 2 people die from skin cancer every hour?
Oh, man.
It's a bummer, but the good news is skin cancer is a cancer you can see, so you can go get checked. You can check each other regularly, make it romantic. Turns out I'm a matchmaking mirror. You're welcome. Love might be in the air.
Welcome back. Maryland has lifted its outdoor burning ban. The statewide restriction was put into place on November 1st following extremely dry conditions that led to an above-average number of wildfires in October. Firefighters with the Maryland Forest Service responded to 50 wildfires last month, which burned on more than 100 acres of land. The ban has been lifted thanks in part to the recent rainfall and normal weather patterns. Well, Prince George's County Public Schools has still not had a plan approved for implementing the Blueprint for Maryland's future and still have 25% of Blueprint funding withheld from this year's budget. The board overseeing Maryland's education reform approved plans from 15 more school districts Thursday, bringing the total to 17 districts on track with the reform plan. Along with Prince George's 6 major districts, including Montgomery, Baltimore City, and Anne Arundel counties, still need to submit updated plans by December 11th to stay on track. And the 2025-2026 federal student aid application is now open for students and families. The form, better known as FAFSA, is usually available beginning October 1st. But this year, the Department of Education used a staggered release plan, testing the form with a limited number of applicants to address any issues before the full launch. Users are already reporting a smoother process than last year's application, which was riddled with glitches and errors. Congress has passed a bill that would make sure the form is available by October 1st annually, and that bill now needs President Joe Biden's signature to go into effect. A local sorority wants to help county residents obtain skills to land their next job. For the 3rd year, the Prince George's County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated has partnered with Google and its Grow with Google Career Certificate Scholarship Program. The initiative will allow participants to learn skills in the fields related to AI, data analytics, cybersecurity, IT, among others. Through the online program, which will take about 3 to 6 months to complete, job seekers earn a free certificate in that field.
Certificates will allow county residents, particularly members of diverse ethnic minority groups in the county, to be able to be job ready, giving us an equal footing when entering the job market. I took the program management program, and it opened up areas where I've been working in healthcare and knew about program management, but it allowed me to have skills and tools to walk away with, tangible items that I could put into my work portfolio to move along. So as you're interviewing for jobs, you know the language, you have a skill set, and you're able to provide something tangible to show that you walk away with the program with.
The deadline to apply for the program is November 30th. For more details on the initiative, visit the website on your screen. And President-elect Donald Trump is ordering Congress to block a bill that would protect journalists from federal surveillance and protect other press freedoms like privacy for sources. In a post on his social media site Truth Social, Trump said, quote, "Republicans must kill this bill," which is unlikely to go to a Senate vote until the next administration takes over. The press protections were already put into place by the Department of Justice, but Trump is likely to repeal them. These actions build on threats Trump has made against the press over the course of his campaign. And still to come on CTV News, our Noel James is back at BWI Airport with more Thanksgiving travel tips. Noel?
With this year's Thanksgiving expected to be the busiest on record, families and TSA are conscious about transporting food. I'm Noel James, and coming up on CTV News, I'll bring you a few recipes for success for food transit.
We hear the stories of people forced to abandon their home. The stories of people whose dreams have been swept away, or their lives left hanging by a thread. Or whose worlds have been blasted apart. Although the stories repeat themselves, each person's experience is unique as they are. And whether it's care or community that people need, we're here to help them live a new chapter, to embrace what makes them unique, be a lifeline to the most vulnerable.
Out! Out! Everybody out! Come on!
Good job. Under 2 minutes.
Keep your loved ones safe from home fires. Practice a 2-minute drill until it's part of your routine. And test your smoke alarms monthly.
In America, millions of families are facing hunger.
After rent and power, I can get groceries. It's sad to say food comes last. Anna from Texas. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Well, as preparations for Thanksgiving travel are approaching a fever pitch, the TSA is urging travelers to know what food items and ingredients are allowed at checkpoints and which ones need to go in the checked luggage. From BWI, here's CTV's Noel James.
So you volunteered to bring the collard greens or the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, but how are you transporting it? Here's what you need to know from the TSA about how to prepare and transport those dishes. With this year's Thanksgiving expected to be the busiest on record, a lot of food will also find its way in transit. The TSA is urging travelers to pay attention to TSA rules before agreeing to bring any ingredients or food items to the airport. Most foods can get through a security checkpoint, but some will need additional security screenings. Here's some food for thought. Place those items in an easy access place in your luggage. If you need to access them, they should be ready. If you have any liquids or gel-like foods, they follow the 3.4 ounces rule. Any more than that will need to go into the checked luggage. Store any foods properly. If it needs to be frozen, it needs to be ice cold when passing through security. Bring ice packs to maintain freshness. Most other dry foods, meats, vegetables, fruits, and casseroles will pass through a TSA checkpoint if properly packed. Make sure to use a cooler box or cooler bags. So remember folks, if it's a liquid or gel more than 3 ounces, you can spill it, spread it, spray it, pump it, or pour it. You need to check it. I'm Noel James at BWI in Baltimore for CTV News.
Thanks, Noel. Well, these nonprofits are mixing holiday cheer with important health screenings. CCI Health Services and SLK Health Services Corporation gave away free turkeys today for anyone who got an HIV test. Turkeys were not the only Thanksgiving necessity. Participants also got produce and COVID tests. Prince George's County has high HIV rates, and organizers say getting tested is important.
Well, first of all, people love free food, free items, but it is for the holidays, so we wanted to make sure that we were doing something that was appropriate for the season. Food and your health care, they go hand in hand with one another, so we're kind of like a one-stop shop for everyone at this point.
We bring a smile. We'll try to create a safe space. Nothing you say can catch us off guard or make us feel some kind of way. This is challenging, depressing for some folks that they can't meet the basic need of feeding their family. So if I can bring a turkey to your table, that means I'm invited to the table.
SLK will have another test for turkey giveaway at the Marlowe Heights Shopping Center in Temple Hills tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. And a new study says women in Maryland need to save over $350,000 more than men in order to retire comfortably. The study compared the average length of retirement to life expectancy and wages by gender by state, and Maryland is in the top 5 states where women must save more than men. Part of that is due to women typically earning less than men and living longer. The additional amount that women in Maryland need to save is the same as working more than 7 years extra with zero spending. And a new report says small businesses need to go online to survive. The data from GoDaddy shows 80% of Gen Z and millennial customers only shop at small businesses if they are online. Those customers need to check reviews and research the business's information before purchasing. The data shows if small businesses work to improve their online reputation and social media presence, it could lead to an increase in sales. And the Bowie Bay Sox are adopting a new name going forward, and they're dropping Bowie. The team will now be known as the Chesapeake Bay Sox. The name is supposed to reflect the team representing the entire Chesapeake Bay region and not just Prince George's County. The Bay Sox will also adopt a new logo featuring a crab holding a baseball bat with the Maryland flag. Can you believe that new name? Is that new life for the team, or?
It's okay. I think Bowie Bay Sox got a little better ring to it, but I understand why they made the name change. It's going to be a little tough making that transition, but it's all good.
All right, Simon, what do we got on sports today?
One more is playoff season, so I have some great highlights in store for today. What's going on, sports fans? Don't go anywhere because I have some highlights from the Turfsman soccer team's NCAA tournament game from last night. Stay right there.
Home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, everybody, it's time for your Friday sports page. Now go ahead and grab a seat, soccer fans, as you're going to love these highlights. It was an exciting time last night for the Terps fans as the men's soccer team looked to start their postseason run off strong as they matched up against Long Island in the NCAA tournament. Now in the first half, the Terps struck first as this assist by forward Colin Griffith led to midfielder and defender Alex Nitzel getting his team their first goal of the night. And the Terps played some good defense throughout the half as the Sharks did have a tough time scoring against them. And the Terps were so close to shutting out the Sharks in the first half, but just as Maryland thought they stopped a potential goal for Long Island with some good defense again, Long Island was able to score with just 2 minutes left. And the Terps and Sharks went into halftime tied at 1-1. Now in the second half, it was Long Island this time who got the first goal, and they went up 2-1 on Maryland within the first couple of minutes. But that Terps offense really locked in the second half and decided they weren't going to let the fans down as they rattled all 4 goals in the period. And it was too much to overcome as Maryland beat Long Island 5-2. The Terps will move on to take on North Carolina and Wake Forest next on Sunday at 6 o'clock. Good win, you guys. And in NFL news, the Baltimore Ravens are gearing up for their next opponent as they will travel to the City of Angels to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, this is just a regular game for the Purple and Black as a battle of the brothers will be taking place. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh will be taking on his brother Jim, who is the head coach for the Chargers. The last time the siblings matched up against one another was in Super Bowl 48, where John beat Jim, who was the head coach of the 49ers at the time. And Ravens head coach John Harbaugh gave his thoughts on the upcoming game.
It's a tough matchup. It's a very good football team we're playing this week, and highly ranked pretty much in every area. Winning football team, very physical, very tough, extremely well coached football team, no question about it. One of the best coaches of this generation, no question. I believe that. Even if he weren't my brother, I would say the same thing. So we've got our work cut out for us. Got to travel across the country and play on Monday Night Football.
Kickoff is at 8:15. Should be a fun one. And this weekend will be full of high school playoff action. Wise will host the 11-2 Dundalk Owls. Flowers will travel to Burtonsville to take on Paint Branch. And finally, Frederick Douglass will look to defend home turf against Liberty High. Wise and Flowers will play tonight, while Frederick Douglass will take the field tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Commanders will look to snap their losing streak when they take on the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. And finally, the Washington Wizards will return to action tonight as they will take on the Boston Celtics. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Simon.
No
Don't
problem.
be too sure they're going to snap that losing streak. We'll see. We'll see come Monday.
I got a pretty good feeling about it, but we'll see.
Now we're going to take a look at our 3-day weather forecast tonight. More showers headed our way with a low of 37. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with a high of 54 and a low of 41. Sunday and Monday will be mostly sunny with a high of 56 Sunday and a high of 63 Monday. And now for our community calendar, if you still need a turkey for Thanksgiving dinner, all father-daughter duos, listen up. The Department of Parks and Recreation will be hosting a daddy-daughter basketball shoot. Whoever makes the most free throws will win a free turkey. The event will be tomorrow from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Seat Pleasant Activity Center. For more information on this event, you can call 301-773-6685. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Make sure you take care of business on Washington. Don't let me down.